in this application, I'm just here, instead of login, I mentioned the path name home and just enter that. It directly goes to your dashboard component. Okay, that should not be happen. Okay, it is problematic for your application as well, because without login, it display your dashboard as well. So this functionality is not be good for your application. For that, Angular gives a auth guard. Okay, route auth guard. So we can implement that route auth guard for your routing applications. Okay, means we route from login to home component. You can use a guard for that route path. Okay, so for that we have to create one services. Okay, with the help of the, for that authentication purpose, basically your routing authentication, you create one more method. Here I just create a method, create a service for that. Ng again G for generate, and another G for is a guard. Okay, it create a guard file for your application. One or more guard file is there in your any application. Okay, I just mentioned the auth, that guard file we use a name as auth, and it create the service. First, it's ask which interface you have to use, because there is a authentication guard file you have to include can activate child, can deactivate, or can load. For that, we use a can activate interface to implement our uh, guard file, authentication guard file. So we use by default can activate is selected, just hit the enter. It take your can activate interface and it create the template code for you. So check what the code present in our guard file. So here simply create a service. In the service, it is implemented a can activate interface, and it's implement a method can activate. That can activate method take the two parameters arguments that is a route and state. That route and state it managed by itself. We don't track for that. It is internal purpose use that route and state. Okay, of that can activate method return type is a observable. You can return that method observable as well. You can return the promises as well. You can return only boolean value. You can return only URL tree. Okay, means you can return here. Can activate gives many more options to return. Okay, right now I don't want to this observable promises URL tree. I just return a boolean, so I'm just using a boolean as well here. I just remove that other return type. Okay, and just make it as a boolean. Now I have to perform some logic here for the authentication purpose. So simple logic here we have to mention here. If we check the session storage, we can store the in the session storage we store the username, so we can get the data session storage dot get atom and mention your username. If username is not equal to null, okay, means it is a valid user, so it can display your dashboard other components as well. So we can use a return true here. Okay, otherwise if user is not be valid, we can return here false. Okay, and if user is not be valid means it do not access directly to your any dashboard home component and other. We can create many more component in the dashboard. We cannot access that component. For we have to navigate to the login screen. If anybody is directly access your /home/add employee or other components, it directly navigate to your login screen and tells to that user, please log in first, and then you can access that other home component or main dashboard. Okay, for that also we have to create a dependency injection of a router. We can mention the constructor here, create the private router dependency. Okay, and that fix input. Okay, I just don't need want Angular RxJS. Okay, now activated. Okay, fine. Now I have to create use this dot router dot navigate method. In that navigate method, first parameter is take the path. We can mention the login. Okay. Now this much part we done. Is it create the authentication for your routes? So still not, because just we create a services for that authentication service. We cannot implement that services in our application. We just create that services. Okay. To apply authentication, proper authentication to apply your routes, for that we can copy that authguard service name and use in your routing configuration setting. Okay. So in a routing file, just in the routing file, I have to give the security for that home component. I mean, directly home component will not be accessible to end user. For that, we can mention one more key here, can activate. In that can activate, you can mention the square bracket, because you can apply one or more authentication services. So for that, we use a square bracket. Inside the square bracket, we use authguard. That is our auth service name. Okay. Now it is fully authenticate your home component. Okay. Now check whether it is working or correctly or not. Comes your application, refresh it. If I just click here home and enter it, it will not be go to your dashboard component. It directly redirect to your login component. Okay. So now it is authenticate your route guards as well. Same implemented in the Gmail as well. You cannot directly go to your inbox box. Okay. Because if user is not be valid, it not be display the dashboard. Okay. For that particular Gmail. Once you log in, it will display your inbox. Same functionality here we can use. Once you log in, it is user is valid, then it will be display your home component. Otherwise, it will not be displayed to your home component. Okay, clear these things.